morning and a very warm welcome. You are watching Janata Television and this is English Bulletin with me, Utsa Bhattrai. The top stories first. Performance of ministers disappointing. All departments fail to execute their work satisfactorily. Prime Minister's health improving gradually. Doctors say Oli still in ICU. Kidney patients made to wait for years to get free dialysis. Lack of equipment and manpower hits the patient hard. Iraqi forces killed 28 protesters. The move comes after mob tortures Iranian consulate. And Arsenal United suffered defeat in Europa League, face uphill battle for qualification. And now the news in detail. The work execution of Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli's team, comprising of his cabinet ministers and secretaries during the first 4 months of the current fiscal year, has been disappointing. The performance has been so much dismal that departments and ministries failed to carry out objectives set by themselves during the beginning of the fiscal year. The Prime Minister had signed a work execution agreement with each minister and secretary at the beginning of this fiscal year to keep a close eye on the works of the ministries. Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli was directly involved in the inspection of ministries and their work. However, Prime Minister Oli and his cabinet also failed to perform more than half of the work plan. According to a review report prepared by the government, only 10 out of 233 departments attained more than 50% of work completion. The performance of Ministry of Labour, Employment and Social Security has been relatively weak as it has completed only 5.7% of its task. The ministry was led by Gokarna Bista until the cabinet was reshuffled by the Prime Minister Oli last week. Nepal is willing to solve the border disputes with India not only in Limpiadhura but also at Susta, said Minister for Communication and Information Technology Gokul Prasad Baskota. During a regular press meet briefing held at the ministry yesterday, Minister Baskota informed that the government has already corresponded with the government of India regarding the disputed territory of Limpiadhura. Nepal will also look forward to solve the issues of border encroachment at Susta through diplomatic means, stated Minister Baskota, stating that Nepal has already collected all the historical evidences and documents to validate Nepal's claim over the disputed territories. Minister Baskota said Nepal will present them as facts in the future discussions.
त्यो सुगौली सन्धिको धारा 5 को कुराले धेरै कुरा उल्लेख गर्छ कि त्यहाँ चाहिँ नदीको चीज के हो भन्ने कुरा खुलाइएको छ। त्यस हिसाबले हामी हाम्रा प्रमाणहरू जब वार्ताको प्रक्रिया टेबलमा हामी पुग्छौं, त्यो टेबलमा पुगिसकेपछि हाम्रा प्रमाणहरू त राख्नै पर्छ नि। प्रमाण बिना दाबी गर्ने कुरा त दाबी हुन सक्छ तर सत्य पुष्टि हुन सक्दैन।
Minister Baskota also informed that the committee formed for the study of border disputes will submit its report in 3 months. Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli, who had recently undergone an appendicitis surgery at Manmohan Cardiothoracic Vascular and Transplant Centre Maharajganj, has been recovering gradually but significantly. Prime Minister Oli had been admitted to the transplant centre under the Tribhuvan University Teaching Hospital on Tuesday after complaining of health problems. He went through a successful surgery on the same day. The hospital has stated that Prime Minister Oli's health has further improved after the surgery. Dr. Arun Sayami from the Trauma Centre informed that Prime Minister is now able to carry out normal daily works such as eating and walking. He also informed that Prime Minister is still at the intensive care unit.
Normally अब चाहिँ खाना खान सुरु गर्नु भएको छ, हिँड्न बिस्तारै सुरु गर्नु भएको छ, त्यसपछि आएर चाहिँ सबै भेन्टिलेटरमा छैन, सबै लाइनहरू चाहिँ सब निकालेर चाहिँ अब बिस्तारै नर्मल्सीमा आइरहेछ। तर अझै हामीले चाहिँ आइसियुमा राखेर होइन भिजिटरहरू हामीले चाहिँ रेस्ट्रिक्ट गरिरहेको छौँ।
Prime Minister Oli had also tweeted about his improving health yesterday morning. The team of doctors currently attending the Prime Minister KP Oli includes Arun Sayami, Ramesh Singh Bhandari, Prime Minister's personal physician Divya Singh and others. This is Janata Bulletin. We'll be right back after a short break. Welcome back after the break. We continue with other national news. The free dialysis service announced by the government for kidney patients has not been effective due to procedural hurdles and lack of policy. Despite the government's announcement, family members of kidney patients are still forced to beg for money on the streets to cover the high expenses of treatment. A report.
Family members of kidney patients have been making rounds of the health ministry to seek funds for dialysis. A person whose wife and son both suffer from kidney failure since the last 3 years expressed his grievance about the hassles and lack of funds for treatment.
त्यो समस्या दुईटा किडनी फेल भएको छ। अनि किडनी 3 लाख रुपैयाँ दिन्छु जग्गा बिजको पैसा थियो अनि दिने मान्छे पाएन। अनि त्यसबाट हामीले के गर्यो भन्दाखेरि विदेश पसल जाँदा सरकारी हस्पिटल जाँदाखेरि यहाँ ठाउँ छैन, गङ्गापुरमा लानु भन्यो। अनि गङ्गापुर लानु भनेपछि गङ्गापुरमा उपचार भइरहेछ।
The nephrology department of Beer Hospital provides a free dialysis to 25 to 30 patients every day. Although the government has announced free dialysis to patients from all government hospitals, this service has not been effective due to lack of equipment and skilled manpower. Out of the 29 dialysis machines at Beer Hospital, only 24 are currently operational. One such machine requires 2 operators, but a single staff has been looking after 4 patients at a time. Kidney patients who had registered their names for free dialysis 3 years ago are still in the long waiting list. Every year, 32,000 new patients suffering from kidney failure are emerging, but the government has neither been able to expand its service nor increase the fund for dialysis.
नेपाल सरकारले सक्दैन भन्ने कुरो त मैले भने मजाले सक्छ नि, नसक्ने भन्ने कुरो भएन नि। त्यो चीज कि त हामीले बुझाउन सकेन कि उनीहरूले बुझ्न सकेन, कहीं न कहीं त केही छ नि हैन। अब उहाँहरुको कुरा गर्दाखेरि त हामीले किडनी डिजिजको लागि यति अर्ब खर्च गरेका छौं भन्ने कुरा आयो, तर त्यो त नेपाली जनताको लागि हो नि त। नेपाली जनताले दिएको ट्याक्सबाट तिरेकै पैसा त हो नि, कुनै इन्डिभिजुअल त कसैको पैसा होइन।
Around 88% of kidney patients are deprived of the free dialysis service due to the lack of clarity on how many times a patient can get this service for free and after what duration.
The Child Rights Day was recently celebrated in Nepal with various programs. The aim of these programs were to help every child attain a better future, protect their rights, and help build an environment where they feel safe. However, there has been very little changes in the state of child labor. One can always see young kids around the valley working in shops or selling color candy on the streets. A report.
The Constitution of Nepal guarantees that all children below the age of 14 are not put under labor. However, the state of these children has not improved as they are all still involved in one or the other form of labor. Some of these children are forced into labor to help with the economic condition of their family, while some are duped into labor. She is Asmita Shah, an 11-year-old girl who sells postcards in the streets of Basantapur in Kathmandu. She works in the street from 4 in the morning till 7 in the evening. Her dreams of going to school to study were quashed as the need for money to buy medicines for her sick mother forced her into child labor.
अनि योबाट आएको पैसा मम्मीलाई दिने, मम्मी चाहिँ के गर्नुहुन्छ नि? बिरामी छ। तिम्रो नाम चाहिँ के हो नि? अस्मिता। अस्मिता कति वर्षको भयो? 11। अनि यो बेच्ने गरेछ हो? दिनमा कति कमाइ हुन्छ?
Ashlesh Kumar Shah is another victim of the system. He sells cotton candy in the streets. He came from his hometown of Rautahar to Kathmandu on the suggestion of his neighbor. He is 11 years old and has no idea what child right means.
कति वर्षको भयो 11 11 कहाँ हो घर रौतहट पढ्नु पर्यो मन लाग्दैन नपढ्ने यही रमाइलो लाग्छ तिमीलाई यहाँ कसले ल्याएको नि काठमाडौँमा
मैले आफ्नै आएको मेरो साउ मेरो गाउँको
तिम्रो गाउँको दिनमा कति कमाउँछ धेरै कमायो भने
सबै धेरै कमाएपछि 8,000
हैन दिनको के
600-700
The associations and organizations working on the field of child labor still have very little to show on the work front. These children, who should have textbooks and stationery items on their bags, have postcards, water bottle and cotton candy to be sold in the streets. Is this the state of child labor that all of us should be proud of?
And now the news from economic front. The Handicraft Business Fair has started in Kathmandu from yesterday. The fair is being organized to promote Nepali handicrafts in the national as well as international market. Federation of Handicrafts Association of Nepal is organizing the 17th edition of the fair at Brikuti Mandap Arena in Kathmandu. Speaking at the inauguration of the event, Finance Minister Dr. Yuvraj Khatiora confirmed that the small and medium-sized cottage industry will be supported financially. Minister Khatiora also urged the owners of these small businesses to come to the Finance Ministry with concrete plans and goals to get the support from the government.
ठोस योजना सहित तपाईहरु छिटै चाहिँ मैले अर्थ मन्त्रालयमा आह्वान गरे वार्षिक लक्ष्य सहित त्यो लक्ष्य निकै नै महत्त्वाकांक्षी लक्ष्य लिएर आउनुस् त्यसमा हामी सबैका आफ्ना भूमिकाहरूलाई निश्चित परिभाषित गरेर आउनुस् र हामी त्यसमा सहकार्य गर्न तयार छौं.
The fair has more than 200 stalls, with some stalls from India, China, America, Japan and Europe. The organizers believe the fair will help improve the presence of the Nepali handicrafts in the national and international market. Time for a short break here at Janata Bulletin. Stay tuned to international news. Iraqi security forces shot dead at least 28 protesters yesterday after demonstrators stormed and torched an Iranian consulate overnight, Reuters reported. At least 24 people died when troops opened fire on demonstrators who blocked a bridge in the southern city of Nasiriyah before dawn on Thursday. According to Reuters, 4 others were killed in the capital Baghdad, where security forces opened fire with live ammunition and rubber bullets against protesters near a bridge over Tigris River. The incidents marked one of the bloodiest days since the uprising began at the start of October with anti-corruption demonstrations. The protests have since swelled into a revolt against authorities scorned by young demonstrators as stooges of Tehran. In Nazaf, a city of ancient pilgrimage shrine that serves as a seat of Iraq's powerful Shiite clergy, the Iranian consulate was reduced to a charred ruin after it was stormed overnight. Protesters accused the Iraqi authorities of turning against their own people to defend Iran. Prime Minister Adel Abdul Mahdi has so far rejected calls to resign. Breaking a month-long Lul and missile test, North Korea fired 2 short-range projectiles into the sea of its east coast yesterday, Reuters reported, referring to South Korea's military. The test firing came as the clock ticks down on the year-end deadline that Pyongyang had given the United States to show flexibility in their stalled denuclearization talks. According to Reuters, it also coincided with the US Thanksgiving holiday. The missile test took place one day before the second anniversary of the NERT's test on intercontinental ballistic missile capable of hitting the US mainland. South Korea's Joint Chiefs of Staff JCS said the North fired 2 projectiles into the sea from launches in the eastern coastal town of Yeonpo at around 5 p.m. local time. The rockets traveled up to 380 kilometers and reached an altitude of 97 kilometers, the JCS said. Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe said the launch was a threat to not only Japan but the region and beyond. Through this, a defense ministry said the projectile did not enter Japanese airspace of its executive economic zone. The launch is the first since October 31st, when the North tested what it called super large multiple rocket launchers. You are watching Janata Bulletin, and now the latest from the world of sports. English clubs Arsenal and Manchester United both suffered defeat in the Europa League campaign as qualification becomes difficult with just 1 game remaining. Arsenal boss Unai Emery is under pressure to resurrect its side if risk losing his job. Emery's Arsenal side lost to Eintracht Frankfurt 2-1 at home. Arsenal is on 10 points and must avoid defeat in the final game to secure qualification. Manchester United lost to FC Astana 2-1 in the league match. United, who had named a very young side for the tie in Kazakhstan, ended up losing the match even though qualification is mathematically confirmed for the English side. The highlight of the last night's match was the game between Portuguese side Sporting Braga and English side Wolverhampton's Wanderers. The game ended in a thrilling 3-3 draw as the Wolves side confirmed their qualification into the knockout stages. The final round of group games will be played in 15 days to decide on the 32 teams that qualify for the knockout stages. The only test match between Afghanistan and West Indies is being played at Lucknow as the Afghan team is fighting to keep the match alive. Afghanistan team could only manage 187 runs in their first innings of the match. West Indies took a lead of 90 as they scored 277 runs in their first innings, with a Centurion innings from Brooks, who scored 111 runs. At the end of the second day, Afghanistan is struggling at 109 for 7 wickets with a meagre lead of 18 runs. The Afghan side won the T20 series against the West Indies but lost the ODI series. In other news, England, who lost their first match to New Zealand, is looking to bounce back in the second test match. The match is being played at Seton Park in New Zealand. As it stands, England won the toss and chose to bowl first. At lunch, New Zealand are 86 for 2, with Tam Latham scoring a half-century. We are at the end of Janata Bulletin, and the headlines once again. Performance of ministers are disappointing. All departments fail to execute their work satisfactorily. Prime Minister's health improving gradually. Doctors say Oli still in ICU. Kidney patients made to wait for years to get free dialysis. Lack of equipment and manpower hits the patients hard. Iraqi forces killed 28 protesters. The move comes after mob tortures Iranian consulate. And Arsenal United suffer defeats in Europa League, faces uphill battle for qualification. And that's all from the English News Desk for today. You can follow Janata Television and our programs on various social media platforms, including on our website janatasamachar.com. Keep watching Janata Television. Namaste.